Well, hello there. My name is Brooks Whitfield with Seven Sons GrazeCart, and in this video, we're going to be talking about something we're calling the hiring pipeline, which is really just a strategy and process for attracting high-quality candidates for any open position or role that you're trying to hire when it comes to growing your business. So if you're new to us, this is the first video you're watching. Seven Sons, we are a pasture-based farming operation out of Northeast Indiana. We raise grass-fed beef, pasture pork, and poultry. We direct market it to the consumer on our website at sevensons.net. The ways we service our customers are through a metropolitan buying club network of over 35 pickup locations. Plus, we use local couriers and FedEx to ship orders directly to our customers' door as well. We really love what we do, and we love to utilize technology to make life easier and help grow the business. And as we were marketing online, we eventually ended up creating our own website and e-commerce platform that runs the website at sevensons.net. We really were inspired to do this to help solve some of the unique challenges that we face as a small farm when it came to internet marketing, and we eventually made the platform available to other farms to use and grow their businesses online as well. So you can learn more about that at grazecart.com and even start a free trial of the platform if you're interested. But in this video, we're talking about hiring. So this is an aspect to any business that you're going to face at some point as you start to grow. You can't do it all yourself. And as our name implies, Seven Sons, I do have 6 other brothers, and we're all involved on the farm. But eventually, it ended up growing the business to the point where we needed to look outside of the family to, hire folks in to get done everything that, that was needed. So, as I think as most first-time business owners, we made the same mistakes as a lot of other people when it came to hiring. We first looked and turned to, extended family members and folks who were inside of our social circle, to add that help onto the farm, which can, it has its benefits. Those are obviously people that you have trust with, but they're also important relationships as well. So if you run into any friction through the employee and employer relationship, that can obviously cause problems. So either way, if you've had great experiences or poor experiences with hiring family and friends, it's not going to be a sustainable place to exclusively look at that as a pool of candidates when it comes to growing the business. So as we continue to grow, we started to get advice from other, people out there who've grown businesses larger than ours or ultimately smarter than we are, to get a peek inside of their hiring process to learn what are the things they think through when it comes to attracting high quality candidates and people to work inside of their business. One of those gentlemen by the name of Dan Martell was someone that we got to, he's a big mentor of ours. We got to take a peek into his hiring process, and we pulled a lot of the things and strategies that he was utilizing and kind of made some tweaks to it to build our own process as well. And one of the most important things that he taught us is that when it comes to recruiting and hiring help, one of the best things that you can do to increase your chances of finding the right people for your business is to just increase the number of applicants that you get for a single job opening. It's a simple principle if you think about applying it to any other aspect of your business. If you have a retail store, you're going to want to make sure that that's located somewhere with a lot of foot traffic, right? Where you get a lot of potential candidates for customers to walk by that building. Same thing with hiring. The more candidates you get, the likelihood that you find a really good fit for the skill sets and character that you're looking for is going to increase dramatically. So that was kind of the most important thing we learned. But the first problem you run into, and you might be able to identify this with this if you've owned other businesses in the past, is that the hiring process is very time consuming, especially if you're getting a lot of candidates for a role, right? You have a lot of time in advertising the job, reviewing the resumes, scheduling the interviews, emailing folks back and forth. And if your business is growing, which is a good thing, you actually could get consumed with this aspect of your business. And you might run into a place where you feel like you don't hardly have time to actually grow the business. You're just trying to fill, candidates, whether it's from, replacing people who move on or just hiring people as you grow. So what we've done is, again, we love technology, so we employed a lot of cool tools to help with the whole applicant tracking process, to streamline the recruiting process, to help save you a lot of time and hours through this. So I want to show you what some of those tools are and kind of how we put them in place to hopefully save you that time as well when it comes time to look at hiring for your business. So again, when it comes, part of getting more applicants for a position, you need to think of some strategies for doing that and building awareness for an open role. Some of the things we like to utilize, this is kind of step one, is to utilize your customer base. So some of our best applicants and people have come from folks who have already been aware of our business, whether they were customers or they referred to us by a customer. That's a great place to try and build awareness for a new hire, and it doesn't cost any money. So if you've been direct marketing for a while, you might have an email list or a Facebook page or an Instagram page where you can post the job opening to your customers, make it exciting. It's a reason to connect with people who buy from you, and they're going to get excited that the farm's growing as well. So just ask them if they might be interested, or if they know of someone who would be a good fit for the role, to send them the application form, and that's a great way to kind of build awareness for the role. Some other tools, some other tools we utilize are some online job boards to get more applications for folks who are locally in our area. You may have heard of job boards like Indeed, or another one I've had a lot of success with is a tool called ZipRecruiter. So these are two I highly recommend. You can post on here, I believe both of them for free. Now we will a lot of times boost our job descriptions to get more exposure on these job boards, to get a little bit more candidates. So that is obviously advertising and costs them money. But you can't post for free. But if you want to get your application in front of more faces, then you're going to want to advertise on the platforms as well. There are many other job boards out there. These are some of the ones that we've had the most success with, but you can definitely just do a Google search and find a lot more as well. Now, kind of the meat and potatoes of streamlining and saving time for filtering those candidates that come through is a tool that we utilize called JotForms. So if you go to our careers page here, when we send out that email to our customers or we post our role on Indeed, we always link it back to our careers page that's hosted on our website. So on here, we will host any of the open positions that we have available, and also we communicate to potential people looking for a role, more information about our business so they can kind of get to know us. We like to make strong statements about kind of what we believe and what makes up the lifeblood of Seven Sons. And that kind of acts as a filtering mechanism in itself, because if you're sharing kind of some strong statements about your farm, and maybe if you have a list of core values that make up the character of the people that you want to see in the business, people are either going to identify with some of those core values, or it's going to be polarizing for them. And if they don't identify with it, they will kind of self-filter themselves and recognize you as a business that might not be a good fit. So if they see some of the things that you really appreciate as quirky or something like that, then obviously they're going to self-filter themselves out, and that's a good thing. So we like to make strong statements on our career page to make sure that people know what they're getting into when they apply at Seven Sons. So JotForms, again, is the tool that we use for to host the application. So people just fill out a little form. We ask some questions on here, so you can kind of use JotForms to build out this form, make it look however you want. It is a free tool, but if you want to remove their branding, I think you have to pay for it, which is something that we do. But I believe you can get started for free. So everyone comes on here, they fill out the application. On average, we get about 60 applicants for every single position that we hire. And that might seem like a lot, but we actually really like it that way. For the last person we hired was for order fulfillment in the warehouse, and we had 115 people apply for the role, which to us is awesome. But you might be asking, how in the world did you find the time to review all of those resumes and filter through all of those applications? And that comes to the next part of the process. So with JotForms, you can schedule automated follow-up emails to people who apply for your role, which is really helpful to streamline the communication aspect and the filtering aspect of things. So when people apply for a role at Seven Sons, they will automatically get an email right away that lets them know kind of what the next steps are. We tell them that it usually takes about 2 weeks to hear back from us on for sure whether or not they've moved on to the next step. And that's helpful to give them that expectation so they're not, replying to us and, asking what's the next step in the process and we're having to manually respond to everybody. It gives them that expectation right away. And then something else we do is we ask people to, if they're interested in the role, to film a video of themselves and answer 3 questions, okay? The 3 questions we ask them to answer on a 1 and 2 minute video is a little bit of information about themselves, so kind of their career background, something quirky that someone else, most people wouldn't know. So it's kind of a fun question to get to know their personality a little bit. And then we ask them, what inspired them to apply to work at Seven Sons. So when people record that video, it's an incredibly helpful tool to utilize for the filtering process. So this is definitely out of the ordinary that we ask for this video before asking for someone to come in for an interview. But I think you can kind of see how that helps us to get to know people before we actually make that commitment to have them in for an in-person interview and invest the rest of that time. And it shows a lot of commitment on their part as well. So if someone's not willing to upload a video to work at Seven Sons, then they must not be that motivated to get the job in the position. So it's a great way to filter folks as well. So we get usually about 60 people who apply for the role. We probably get about 10 people who will upload a video. And after we review those videos, then we pick about 5 people to come in for an in-person interview. So typically, we're not even going to look at the resumes for those 60 people or the 125 people who applied for our last position, because people can put anything on a resume. So, we'll review them sometimes, but most of the time we just wait for those videos to come through. And that's a great way to get to know people before investing further time in the in-person interview. And you can imagine, if you've gone through hiring before, you've done interviewing before, sometimes it is what it is when, when you actually schedule an interview, someone can come in and sit down, and in the first 5 minutes, you got a pretty good idea usually if they're a good fit or not. But either way, you always invest at least 20 to 30 minutes in that interview process, let alone the time it took to schedule it. So getting those video recordings in ahead of time is absolutely vital to saving time for this whole hiring process. The mechanics of this, how this would work, is once they get that follow-up email to ask them to record a video, we send them to another job form that we host that has a tool to where they can kind of upload a video file. So whether it's on their phone or on their computer, they can just upload that video. And then we schedule a notification email to send to us as soon as someone uploads a video, so we can just go ahead and check it out right away. In job forms, it integrates with a lot of other technology out there. So a piece you're gonna want to have in place to make this work is some sort of storage system for the videos to upload to, so you can access and review them. We use cloud storage with Google Drive, so it integrates with the form. When people fill out the form, they just upload to our Google Drive folder. You can kind of see people who've applied for some recent roles here. We're not going to watch the videos for privacy reasons, but it just hosts here on Google Drive, and we can review those as they come in. So again, we start with 60 to 100 applications, 10 people upload videos. We schedule interviews with our 5 favorite videos to actually come in to the farm, where we can ask more in-depth questions. And every single person who comes in, we always feel like that there could be a possible good fit for the role, and it feels like it's time well spent, and we just get to pick our favorite of the 5. So this saves us tons of times through the whole process, but that pretty much makes up the technical aspects of what allows us to streamline this and save a lot of time. There's definitely a lot more that goes into hiring that we could talk about, but I better cut off this video here. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch and learn, because hiring is absolutely critical to any business, no matter what industry you're in, because the right people will make or break your company. So don't sell this short. Make sure you give it the time that it deserves. What I'm going to do is just go ahead and post links to the resources and tools that we utilize to streamline this process in the comment section below. So go ahead and check that out. And while you're down there, let me know if you appreciated the video and if you want to learn more about any other aspects of our experience when it comes to hiring. Maybe it's maybe the thought process that we put into, thinking about what does a high quality and good, candidate look like? What are some of the strategies that we use for writing job descriptions, or, questions for live interviews and things like that. So if there's another aspect of this that you would like us to dive into more details, let us know in the comment section below. If you want to hear more from us or watch more of our content, be sure to subscribe, and then I will see you in a future video.